You're on time. So we're going to get started. But before we get started, tell the person sitting next to you that you look great. Tell them you look so good. Awesome. Good job. Okay, bring it back. Okay, so if you guys were here yesterday, we learned about the 3 pillars of Disruptive University: awareness, honesty, and personal responsibility. So we're going to dive into those today, and we're going to talk about what it looks like to take personal responsibility for your personal vision. Sound good? Yeah. Good. This is interactive. Okay, so most people don't have a vision problem. They have an honesty problem. Instead of being honest with ourselves about it truly being our choice to not have vision in our lives, because we want vision, right? To not have vision in our lives, we choose to wait. We wait for clarity. We say, oh, I'm not going to step into my vision until I know what I'm going to do. I need clarity first, and then I'll step into it. Or we wait for permission. I'm going to wait for that unsaid permission from other people in my life because they've got control subconsciously over what I'm going to do. So I'll wait until I have that permission. Or I'll wait until I feel ready. I'll wait until I feel good about myself because I don't feel like I have the confidence to go step into the vision, so I'll wait until I have that confidence. But deep down inside, be like, I know we're never going to have it, so I'll just tell people that and feel like it's my nice excuse. So vision actually isn't something we wait for. It's something that you build and you do when you get radically honest about who you are, what you believe, your beliefs, and what you know that you were made to do. Welcome. My name is Katey Connell. I'm the talent acquisition manager at Disruptive Advertising. I live in a small little surf town in Encinitas, California. And I'm a big surf and ski enthusiast. Any skiers in here? Mountain Utah people? Yeah. And I'm known as the loose mom. It's my favorite title, because look at his face. Okay, so the only thing worse in life than being blind is having sight but no vision. Does anyone know who said that quote? Helen Keller. Yeah, you nailed it, Helen Keller. Yep. So, what we're going to cover today is the problem, why most people stay stuck. Notice I didn't say why most people are stuck. I said why most people stay stuck, right? We're choosing to stay stuck. How many of us have been in a stuck season before? Yeah, all of us. If you're not raising your hand, you're lying. The human experience, we all go through these stuck seasons, these lows and these highs, and we get out of the seasons often. But how many of us find ourselves sometimes in those seasons that lasts from season to that stuck season, after, right? And all of a sudden we're like, wait, this isn't a season anymore. It's now kind of our life. So it's one thing to be stuck in a season, but then it's one thing when a season gets control of you. So we're going to talk about the how. We're going to get out of that. Don't worry, guys. You're going to go home today. You're going to be like, oh, I don't have to be stuck there anymore. So we're going to learn about how to take that Ikigai vision that Jake just talked about, and we're going to craft a little bit of that personal vision for ourselves, and then the solution, you guys are all going to take home one bold action today. So don't you worry. Now, first, before we get into it, we're going to talk about my story, because I can't tell you guys how to create a vision in your life and how to get unstuck if I haven't been through it myself, right? That's not fair. So let me earn some of that trust factor. So, quick story. 10 years ago, not 10 years ago, a long time ago, over 10 years ago, a long time ago, I was in a whole different career. I was living my dream job as a Sea World dolphin trainer. Crazy, I know. But we're going to fast forward to the very end of that story. So I did that for 10 years, and it was great, it was amazing, and it was an incredible roller coaster all the way up. I was at my mountaintop. And then just like any of us, we get a little burnt out over time, right? So we're going to start this story at the very end of that career, because it was amazing, it was a dream, and I've got so much respect for that time in my life. But we're gonna start at the very end of that story when I was in my stuck season. And so from the outside, my life looked great, right? I was getting paid to swim with dolphins in the water. How many of your guys' lives feel like they look so great to other people on the outside? You have the house, the car, the family, the job, all of the things, and everyone's like, man, you must be so happy, your life is so great, but inside you're like, you don't know the battles that I'm facing. Does anyone relate with that? Yeah. So that's what my life felt like. Everyone was like, hey, you're a 6-year-old dolphin trainer, how can you be unhappy? But inside, I was completely miserable. I was broke, I was burnt out, and I was questioning everything, even myself. So internally, I was at my rock bottom. I was letting my excuses around my lack of skills. So I would be feeding dolphins with my coworkers, and we'd be like, guys, we're all a little miserable right now. We're all angry and sad, and just all the things. We're kind of all in that like rock bottom right now. We're all a little burnt out. We've been doing this career for a long time, not making a lot of money, just not a lot of things going on in our life. But we have to stay here because I can't put feeding fish dolphins on my resume. There's nothing else I can do. So I guess my lack of skills is gonna keep me here, right? There's nothing I can do. So I was letting my excuses around my lack of skills keep me from any sort of future vision. I was letting my excuses around my health. I was so sick, and I think a lot of that had to do with the stress that I was in. Stress, I know can all relate, has made us sick in some of our parts of our lives, and I was so sick internally, on the outside, on the inside, and I was like, well, if I'm sick, I don't have the money to get better, so I guess I have to stay sick, and that was an excuse in my life. I can't go and get out of this, I can't go get unstuck, I can't go be happy, or get another job, or fix my life because I'm sick, you guys. That was an excuse, and then I had used the finances as another excuse. Well, I don't have the money to go and buy a new car to be able to show up to work on time. Every month my car was on the side of the road, shout out AAA. And when my car was breaking down, I had to ride my bike to work. So you can imagine how often I was late to work, had a couple chats from my boss. And there was times where my car got stolen and I didn't have a ride to work. And so I was completely at rock bottom, and I let my excuses of my finances to keep me there. I let my finances on, well, I can't go and move out of my apartment that I was in I had an abusive roommate at the time, and I was in a poor relationship at the time, and I was letting all of those excuses, what was happening in my life, saying, I can't go get the life that I want because look at what's happening, and I was letting all of my excuses steal my vision. If you're taking notes today, and I encourage you to take notes, write this down. Do not let my excuses steal my vision for where I'm going and where I'm meant to be. So all I knew was I didn't want to stay where I was. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I didn't want to stay where I was. So let's call that point A. I'm at point A and I don't like it. I've got to get out of here. But I don't know where I'm going. I want to get to point B. I don't know what point B is though. I don't know where I'm going. But all I knew was I needed to get out of point A. I needed to get unstuck. I knew I did not like who I was when I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't even recognize myself. I didn't recognize myself emotionally. I didn't recognize myself physically. I saw this like little lion cub when internally I knew like, no, Katey, like, where's your lioness? Where's your lion self? Have you guys ever looked in the mirror and you're like, this isn't me? Like, I don't know who I am right now. And I knew that I didn't like that. So the only thing that I had in my control, was the choice. I had a choice. I could stay where I was at point A and keep all of those excuses as my, well, I can't move out of point A. Or I could take one small step out of point A and take a bold move towards point B. I don't know what point B is. But right now, I just needed to know that I needed to get out of point A. So what did I do? I chose to take this scary, yet very courageous and bold action. I chose to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to grow. because that is where growth happens. Write that down. I choose to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that is where growth happens. Now I want you to underline the word choose, because we can all talk about getting uncomfortable. If we're not going to move and make the choice to move, it'll just stay talk. So I started to take the action, and I started to see what would stick and what wouldn't. So I got really creative with my resume. I asked a friend who was in the corporate world. I was like, I haven't touched a computer in like 10 years. I don't know what resumes look like anymore. Can you help me take my fish-giving swimming skills and put that on paper? And there's actually a lot of things that you don't know that you actually are capable of doing, what you're learning when you're working with a team, that you can actually put on a resume. And so as I was getting my resume out there, applying to all these jobs, doing all these interviews, and this was prior to the remote world, so I was driving in the car and going to interview after interview after interview, and there was actually an interview that I remember falling asleep with my eyes open, because I think it was my 25th interview, like in that quarter. While I was doing all these interviews, I was like, we gotta take more action. I'm still not getting unstuck. I'm doing these interviews, I'm taking the bold action, but I'm not noticing anything different. So on my weekends, I'm still working my full-time job here. And I'm working weekends, so my weeks are, Thursday through Tuesday or whatever. On my weekends, so like a Tuesday or Wednesday, I started substitute teaching. I was like, let's try this. So I go and get all the substitute teaching papers, get the tetanus shot, all the things. This is while I'm interviewing for jobs as well, so remember this. I'm like, let's also start being a substitute teacher. I did not like that. My mom was a teacher. She's like, Kate, you're gonna love it. Not for me. For some people, not for me. And so I just started to see what stick, what didn't. I started to open doors and see what opportunities were gonna open, and I just knocked on them, and if they opened, I stepped into it. They didn't have to be the right thing. I didn't need to figure out, that needs to be the right vision before I step into it. I need to make sure that's right for me. No. I didn't know what I was doing, so I said, let's try this out. Oh, don't like it. Okay, let's try a different door. Don't like it. I was opening all these doors. I was making the choice. So many times we have our excuse of like, I don't want to step into that door because what if I go down a road I don't like? You don't know that yet. You don't know that yet. So let the doors close. Let the doors close. When I failed, that was a good thing. When I failed or I didn't like it, good. It helped me get more clear. Because I didn't even know what I wanted to do, but if I don't know what I want to do, and I use that as an excuse to never get out of this stuckness that I'm in, you're going to stay stagnant. Momentum helped me move forward. Momentum started to replace my doubt. Everyone say momentum. Momentum. Say momentum replaces doubt. Momentum replaces doubt. Because I didn't like this, my momentum took me to, so now left 0, had my last day. I got a weekend off, Saturday, Sunday. We went to my next career as a sales floor associate. So now I'm on the floor at 30 years old with all of the college kids. Again, they're like fresh out of college, they're so excited, like I'm in the workforce now, and I'm like, here we go, I'm 30 years old, hey guys. And I learned how to do sales, and I was on the outbound team, so fun. And I also did customer service, so I'm hearing all the people call in and tell me like how much they hate our product, and I'm like, everything's fine. But we did it, we tried it, we did it with a smile on our face, and I learned actually a lot of things that I get to apply to my life today. So momentum started to replace my doubt. Momentum helped my ultimate thing that was holding me back, my core belief that I couldn't change. My core belief that I couldn't change. So with all that momentum, I started to take every opportunity. The HR team needed some help. Fast forward a year later, I got my first salary job as a recruiter. Hello, welcome to where I am now. And then I started my own little side hustle business called Become Alive, where I started to take my story and teach others how to get unstuck through group fitness and motivational speaking events. And after that, I stepped into being a speaker and the recruiter that I still am today. So fast forward, when I get to look at myself in the mirror now, I see the lioness, or some of you might see the lion inside of you, and I actually see that reflected back in the mirror today. But it took me a lot of work, time, and repetition. Okay, so your future isn't waiting for clarity. That purpose that Jake just talked about, if you're like, I don't know what my purpose is, you don't have to. We find out our purpose through trial and error in life, through the A/B testing of life, right? That's what life's all about. It's not about waiting for clarity, it's waiting for action. So if you resonate with this photo right here, and you're like, wait a minute, I feel like the kitten, but I know deep down inside I'm the lion, or I'm the lioness, it's time to start seeing that reflection back in the mirror. So stop waiting about getting clarity on the vision and start taking the action. So the problem, okay? What's the problem that is holding us back from this, instead of saying I can't, I can't? What do you guys think the main thing holding us back in life is? What's like the main big thing? Just shout it out.
Fear.
Yep. Fear. Thank you. Yeah, easy. We're all like, we know fear. Fear, doubt, I can't. These are all things stopping us. So yeah, the problem, why most people stay stuck is lack of clarity. Fear of judgment from other people. Oh my gosh, yeah, fear of failure. Waiting for permission, that unsaid permission. Living up others' expectations. Oh my gosh, all of these things, fear. But why? Why do we let fear stop us? Yeah, fear stops us. But if we know fear stops us, you would think that we would be smart enough humans to be like, okay, well, we know fear is going to get in the way, let's get around it. But we don't. We let it be our roadblock. So why do we do that? It's because we believe in these untrue beliefs about ourselves. We start to believe that the fear is real. We start to believe, oh, you're right, I can't do it. Oh, you're right, that person's judgment is right about me. I'm not ready for it. So where does that stem from? Our brain. We have this awesome brain. And our brain actually filters in all these beliefs about us. And I'm going to take you on a science journey in just a minute. But so we have our beliefs, and our beliefs create our thoughts. And then our thoughts create our feelings and how we feel. Feelings create our words, which create our actions in life. And then our actions create our results, or our outcomes. And that's where we are right now. You guys are currently in your reality. You're living in your result. And if you are not liking some realities in life right now, you're going to want to pay attention. So how do you undo this? How do you change this result? I want a different result. You go all the way back up, and you got to fix that belief system in your brain. So, quick little science journey. How many, or let's take a guess, how many bits of information do you guys think that we take in life per second? How many bits of information do we take in every second?
Too much.
Too much. 5,000? Any other guesses? 2,000? 11 million bits of information every second. Okay, so thankfully, you guys, we have a filter in our brain filtering this, and we actually only internalize and take in 40 to 60 bits. But what's coming at us is 11 million bits. If we didn't have this filter in our brain filtering it into 40 to 60 bits, we'd all be in a psycho ward. So thankfully, we have this filter. So what's happening outside of life, all those bits of information get filtered through our belief system. And then because of our belief system, it interprets those thoughts, those feelings, everything we just talked about, to go into your output, your behavior in life and the reality that it's creating. So your filter is called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is like the bouncer at the door of your mind. It decides on what is worth noticing based on your core beliefs, which are really based on your experiences in life. So going back to this model, your core beliefs is your mental operating system. If your core belief is, I'm not good enough for that promotion, or I'm not good enough for that job, your reticular activating system is going to look for proof of that. If your core belief is, people can't be trusted, your reticular activating system is going to look for every betrayal, every lie, versus maybe you have a really positive core belief like, I am capable, I am called. Your filter, your reticular activating system is going to start looking for opportunity, for alignment, for purpose, like, yep, that aligns with me, I am capable, I am called. So if we are not liking some of our core belief systems, meaning we aren't really satisfied with some areas of our life right now, thankfully, don't worry guys, there's hope. We have something called neuroplasticity. Raise your hand if you've heard of neuroplasticity. Okay, so it's your brain's ability to change at any age. So no excuses, any age. So your thoughts, your belief, and your identity, they're not fixed, they're flexible. Every time you think a thought, you're strengthening a neural pathway. The more often you think it, the more stronger it becomes. So if you've believed that I'm not good enough for that promotion for years, it's actually not the truth. It's just a well-worn path, that neural pathway in your brain. So thankfully we can change those well-worn paths. So there is hope. You can create new thoughts. You can have new beliefs, and with repetition, those beliefs become your new defaults. So that's not just motivational talk, it's science. Yay. So we have those beliefs. Who here has heard of limiting beliefs? The term limiting beliefs, yeah. So if we want to change those belief patterns, right, we're not liking that model, we're not liking that outcome, we want to go all the way back to the top of the circle, we got to change the beliefs. How do we do that? We got to change our limiting beliefs. So your limiting beliefs are just beliefs that are limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself from stepping into your true self, that potential that you were designed for. So what's an example of a limiting belief? Does anyone want to shout out a limiting belief? Yeah.
I can't do back then.
I can't do it back then. That's a good one. Okay, any other limiting beliefs that you have about yourself?
I'm not enough.
That's a good one. I'm not enough. I'll give you guys some other examples. I'm not qualified. It's too late in life. I don't have the money for it. I need to wait till I'm more confident. I'm terrible at being organized. That's I deal with that one. And yeah. I'm terrible at interacting with people. So why does this matter for your vision? Why does this matter for your personal vision today? If you want a new future, you have to install new beliefs. Changing or creating your vision starts with challenging your current filter, your current belief system, not just forcing new goals, but upgrading the beliefs that are currently shaping your reality today. So we're going to do a little exercise. We're going to disrupt our limiting beliefs right now. So how do we disrupt our limiting beliefs? 4 things. We identify, we interrupt, we replace, and we reinforce. So I want you guys to get out a pen and paper, and I want you guys to just write down one limiting belief. Just identify just one limiting belief about yourself right now, and write it down. Identify that one limiting belief. When you have that down, I want you to take your pen or pencil, and I want you to draw one line through it. Just one line. You can still read it. You're going to cross it out. So we've identified it, and now we're going to interrupt it. We're going to replace it. I want you guys to write down underneath it the opposite thing that you just wrote. So if you wrote, I'm not qualified for that job, you would say, I am qualified for that job. If you wrote that I'm not enough, I am enough. If you wrote down, I can't do that back then, I can't do that back then, I'm going to get there. So I want you guys to write the truth, the opposite thing, underneath that. What you're doing right now is you're replacing. You're replacing that limiting belief, which I just call a false belief. It's not true. It's a lie. You're replacing it with an empowering belief. A true belief, the true thing, the thing that you actually are. But we don't know yet. Your brain is right now like, no, she doesn't know. I can't do this. She has no idea. That's your brain working against you. We're gonna learn how to fight against that because it's not true. And then in life, you're gonna reinforce it through action and through experience. I practiced this when I was in my slump. And I started to identify limiting belief about myself. And I would always tell myself, Katey, you are so ugly. That's just an easy one that I think we've all like, I don't like how I look in the mirror, right? We can probably all relate with that one. And I'd be like, Katey, that's a limiting belief about yourself. And so what I did is I identified it, I became aware of it, and I told myself, okay, how are we gonna interrupt this? How are we gonna be able to be like, you look great today when you look in the mirror? Every time that I thought that thought for 21 days, I would tell myself, okay, Katey, every time you have that thought about yourself, you have to say out loud, I'm beautiful. And I felt so weird, and I was like, this is stupid, this is silly. But I did it, I was like, Katey, just try it. They say it works, try it for 21 days. And I did. And at the end of that 21 days, I was like, I'm beautiful. You look good today. And I would start to show up more confidently. It started this domino effect of how I would show up around other people. And I would start to see others. I'm like, you look great. You look great. And it was this ripple effect in the world. And I realized that I was being so selfish with my own limiting beliefs about myself, making it all about me. I wasn't thinking about others. And so because I chose to interrupt that, I replaced it and I reinforced that over time. And do you guys know what happens in 21 days to your brain? What happens? Yep. Yes. you can form a new habit within 21 days. So I practiced this. I was like, they say this works. And I did it, and I was like, oh, I gotta tell other people about this. So the only thing limiting you is your belief that there are limits. No one else actually believes that. You look at all your friends and I'm like, you're great, why are you limiting yourself? We think so low about ourselves. The only thing limiting yourself is your belief that there are limits. So when are you gonna decide to make that choice and get out of that stuck mindset? You're not waiting on clarity. You're waiting on courage. Courage to stop believing the lies. To believe the truth about who you are and walk in that truth. So now that we've discussed becoming aware of your poor belief system holding you back, we're going to create a new belief system, the good belief system, and then we're going to create our vision. So we're going to go from, I don't know what I want my personal vision to be, to I know I'm going to start taking action. I know I'm going to get unstuck. On my last day at SeaWorld, I remember my coworker came up to me and she said, Katey, you're so brave for leaving. And I thought to myself, I didn't say it to her, but I thought in my brain, wow, that's so interesting. Because I think you're so brave for staying. I don't think she saw it like that at the time, but for the past couple of years, we were sharing all the stories of where we were stuck in life, shedding tears together in the locker room. I knew that she was unhappy, but she didn't want to step out. She didn't want to get into the uncomfortable zone of the unknown. So she said, you are so brave for leaving. And I thought, you're so brave for staying. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I didn't want to be there anymore. So we're going to work on your ikigai. We can't go over the ikigai with a limited mindset. I did not want to bring this up in the beginning because we are not creating our vision with your limited mindset at all. No. If we do that, we'll have a limited vision on where we're going and the life that we're going to impact others on. So everyone say Iki.
Iki.
Iki means to live. And then everyone say Gai.
Gai.
Gai means reason. And so everyone say Ikigai. Yeah, that's a fun word. So it's a Japanese word, as Jake said. It means reason for being. There is not an exact direct translation in the English language, but it's just a concept that encapsulates the idea of finding joy through purpose in a unique way. And so I'm just going to go over this really fast. I want you guys, you don't have to write it down yet, don't worry, we will in a second, but I just want you guys to think about what you would write down in all of these areas. So, yeah, really quickly. So you have your values. Those are things you love. What lights a fire in your soul? What are your values? Your intrinsic motivations, the activities that bring you joy. What are your strengths? Your natural talents, your developed skills, things you do well with ease or excellence, maybe things that you're good at, your natural aptitudes, your acquired skills. Your mission, or the mission that you believe the world needs. What's your mission? How can you impact the world? What are some societal gaps that you can fill? Problems that you can solve? Those things that you're like, I don't like how this is going on in the world. What are some of those areas that are meaningful to you, significant to you? And then your career. What can you be paid for? What are some of the skills that you can say, like, I can get cash for that right now? I always think about what are the differences between like your strengths and your career. So I always think about maybe your strengths is I'm great at explaining ideas. I'm a great communicator. And then maybe my career for that might be like, oh, I'm a leader of people, or I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, right? So those are a little bit of the differences of those strengths versus the career. And so the Ikigai model is all about, you can have strengths maybe that you don't get paid for yet, and then you can have your career that you might be getting paid for something, but you're not really utilizing your strengths. And so the whole idea of the Ikigai is like, where can we find the overlap? If we can find a career that uses our strengths, like that's that sweet spot that we're looking for. So that's the model of the Ikigais, when some of those things can overlap. Obviously the whole idea is to find when all four overlap. But that can get a little stressful. So we don't have to go there yet, right? We don't have to know our full vision, our full assignment, our full purpose. We're just trying to focus on those steps right now. So With that being covered really quickly, I want you guys to think about what's your old story. So your old story is actually where you are right now. So if you came in this room and you're like, I'm looking for that vision. I'm here at the Disruptive University conference because I'm like, I need vision in my life. I don't know where I'm going. So your reality might be actually what we're going to call your old story. It's not who you are anymore. That's your past. We're going to put it in the past. And I want you guys to take those limiting beliefs that got you here to where you are today, and you're going to change that, and you're going to step into your actual true beliefs, the truth about who you are, who you were made to be. If you didn't have the fear, if you didn't have the doubt, if those things weren't holding you back, and you can ask yourself, if you knew you couldn't fail, if you knew that fear wasn't in the way anymore, it wasn't a roadblock anymore, what would you do? What's your new story? What's your new story when you're walking out of this room? Where are you going? It takes 21 days, like we said, to break an old pattern, to break a habit and form a new neural pathway. It takes 45 days to begin shifting your identity and making that new neural pathway feel a little bit more natural. And it takes about 90 days, about 3 months, to actually rewire and solidify those beliefs about yourself. So remember my whole story about me going from a dolphin trainer to my Become Alive brand that I have now? That didn't take me overnight. Oh my gosh, no. That took me years. Years and years and years and years of me realizing where I was keeping myself stuck, but I kept going, and I stopped playing the victim, and I chose to get unstuck and take the step out of that, and kept trying to reinforce those limiting beliefs that I had about myself. So, with the next few minutes, we're actually going to craft a little bit of your ikigai right now with that new belief system you have installed. So get something to write on, which you guys already have, and I want you guys to just draw the big 4 circles. Essentially, they're supposed to overlap: 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circle, 4 circle. I tried to do this at home, and it's really hard to make it perfect with the little purpose circle in the middle, so just focus on your 4 circles right now. This is going to be a quick exercise, and you guys can always do more of this at home. So we're just going to take 30 seconds in each circle. I want you guys to just write one answer of what I'm about to go through in each circle. So just try to focus on one thing. If more come up, that's great, but just write at least one thing down for each circle. So first we're going to start with your values, your passion. Write one thing in that value circle that lights you up. What's that thing that your friends tell you, man, whenever you're talking about this, you light up a room? What's that thing that sets your soul on fire? And when you have that written down, we're going to move on to the career, the skill portion, the things that you can get paid for. What's that skill set that you have right now that you can go, and if you got fired today and you need to go get a new job, or you don't have a job right now and you wanted to go get a new job, what is that one thing that you can go get paid for right now? What's a skill that you have? Something maybe you would put on your resume. And then when you're done with that one, we're going to move on to the strengths. What's something you're good at? When people come to advice for you, or from you, what do they tell you? What are they wanting to hear from you? They're like, I go to advice for you because you're really good at telling me this. What's the strength that you have? Maybe your strength is encouraging others. I know some people in this room are really good at that. Then when you have that one written down, what's a pain point that you think the world has that bothers you so much that if you had all the money and time and the resources in the world that you'd go solve? What does the world need? What's that thing you're like, man, why are we making like the iPhone 17 when we could go be doing this? I saw this video the other day and I was like, why aren't we helping to learn how to make dogs live for 100 years instead of making the new iPhone? I agree. Okay, so just one thing in each of those circles. We don't have to get overwhelmed in life figuring out your purpose and your why. That's a big question. Just one thing for each of those circles. You don't need to have it all figured out. We just got to take the next step. So you've just created a little Ikigai version. I just want that to be a little tool for you to take home. And the next time you feel like you're stuck in an emotion, in a relationship, in your personal life, in your work, how can I go back to looking at, okay, hold on, what are my strengths? What am I good at? How can I do something to take a little bit of a step, a bold action? So you're feeling stuck in this room today, and you're lacking a little bit of vision. It's not laziness. Give yourself a little grace. Life is hard. It's longing. You're feeling that burn and that desire to change. You might be sitting here. You could have stayed home today. You could have gone to your job. You could have done something with your family, but you chose to come here. So that tells me that everyone in this room has a little bit of longing to step into something new that I don't even think is new. I think it's just your real self that is a little bit covered up by some pain and some wounds that have become just a victim mindset, honestly. But we're going to stop letting that victim mindset control our lives. So it's longing. It's a signal. Something inside of you is craving more purpose, more boldness, the true version of you. So I want you to ask yourself, I run a course called Become Alive, and I always ask the students in the course, if you woke up in an alternate universe, what is that version of yourself that you wish you could have been in the world? Like, things that happened to you didn't happen to you. What's that thing that, like, that person that you wish you were? What does that person do? What thoughts do they think about themselves? They probably show up in a room so confidently. They probably believe in themselves, right? That's what I always think, like, man, they would actually really, really love themselves. What kind of words do they speak? They probably don't speak the, I'm not enough, or I don't like my job, and all these people are so mean to me. They probably love people. They probably love their job. That person probably walks with their shoulders back, and they probably light up a room, right? So if you could go map out that person's schedule and how they would wake up and the things that they would do tomorrow, what's one step that you could do to go live that person's life that you aren't doing right now? What's that one small, bold action that you could take right now when you walk out of that room that you're actually not doing right now? Be honest with yourself, and I want you to write that down. What's one small, bold action that you could take this week to become him or her? Maybe it's a leader of a business. I wish I was a leader of people. So maybe your small actions is to go, I'm going to go schedule meetings with some leaders that I know and ask them about their career story and how they got there. That might be a little scary, but that's a bold step. Maybe that person that you want to be, that vision that you have for yourself, is to get in shape. So maybe you go join a gym. Maybe that's a little too much, so maybe it's, I'll walk 5 more minutes every day. That's a small step, that's good. Maybe it's, I was talking to someone yesterday, they're like, my vision is I want to drink more water, and I'm like, awesome, drink 1 more cup of water tomorrow. Just start there. It might not feel like a lot, but it's something that you're not doing right now, right? If it was easy, if that person that we wanted to become, if that vision that we wanted to step into was easy, we'd already be doing it. Be honest with yourself. Maybe it's having more confidence, so maybe you do something that scares you, like come off mute in a Zoom meeting. If you really don't know this answer, you're like, hey, I have no idea what I want to do. Just say yes to something different this week. Read the book. Apply for that job. Go volunteer, serve others. That's a great way to get unstuck. Get outside yourself. Get organized. That's a good one for me, right? Clean up your inbox, your Gmail inbox, okay? That little organizational step might actually have a whole ripple effect on how you show up in your life. So there it is. That's you taking that bold and new courageous step towards you filling your personal vision. So we're going to wrap up. I want you guys to look at this slide really quick. Line A to point B is a nice straight line. This is the expectations we have in life, right? Other people, when they're stuck and they go hop into this part of their life that I see on Instagram, and man, they just had a really easy way to get there. They were stuck, but now they're doing great, right? But our reality looks a little bit more like this, and this is actually everyone's reality. So that's like Instagram life, and then this is reality. Who can identify a little bit more with this picture? Yeah, same. We go back, we go forward, we go up, we go down. We're not really making it to point B for quite some time, but guess what? We're not staying at point A anymore. Remember in my earlier story how I was like, man, I'm at point A, and I don't want to be here anymore. I want to get there. I want to get to point B. I don't know what it is, but I know that I need to take a bold next step. So I want you guys, this is the last thing you'll do on your paper. I want you guys to draw, a little point, and I want you guys to draw a dot. Just label it point A, and underneath write today. Today is point A. I want you to think about where you are today. Become aware. Be honest. Be honest with where you are today. And I want you guys to make a line and draw point B. And I want you to write a line. Just leave space for what you're going to write in later. Where are you going? Who are you becoming? If you know where you're going and who you're becoming, write it down. That's awesome. But just make space for your point B. It's going to happen. You'll get there. And then I want you to go back to point A and make your little first loop-de-loop. That's your one small thing. I want you to write down your one small thing that you just wrote down. What's your one small thing? What's your one small action you're taking? What's your little first loop-de-loop of life that you're going to get out of your point A and you're going to walk towards your point B? What's your one small, bold step that you're going to take, hoping that it aligns with those new beliefs, your true beliefs about yourself? What's your one small thing that you're going to do? I love this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, but just take the first step. One of my favorite speakers, Tony Robbins, says that massive action cures all. Massive action is all you gotta do. So, how are we gonna take massive action? How are we gonna choose to get comfortable with the uncomfortable? We're actually gonna try it on right now. Everyone stand up. Oh, we're gonna get uncomfortable? I want you guys to practice what I call the original Katey 15-second dance party. And we're going to have a dance party right here, right now in this room. So you're gonna wiggle your body, and when this music starts playing, here we go. Okay guys, 15-second dance party is on. Let's go, move your body, get uncomfortable, feel weird, let's go! Woo! Got there? Beat drop. Oh. I figured out time for the beat drop. Okay. What did we just do? Who here feels really uncomfortable and like maybe a little like cringe-worthy right now? Yeah, the same. But guess what? We just lit up the part of our brains that say, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm stepping into my new self. I want you to know what you're feeling in your body right now. Look out for this feeling this week. This is what you want to be doing. This is the feeling. Remember, in order to grow, in order to choose growth, we have to get uncomfortable. We have to choose to get uncomfortable. That's where growth happens, and we're going to want to look out for this feeling right now. Okay, so your takeaway. What's your one small thing, your one bold action that you're going to sow into your life this week? Does it align with your ikigai? Are we being honest? Are we being aware? And are we taking that personal and radical responsibility? Now your vision is only actionable if you say it out loud. Because if we keep it in our brains, we're going to continue to show up in the reality that we showed up in this room, right? So I want you to turn to your neighbor sitting next to you. Tell them your one small thing. You have 15 seconds each. Go.
getting older, then you start
the
going,
meaning of life.
now what do I do? You know?
The meaning of life, right? The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. Your vision isn't about serving you. It's about figuring out your vision and what you're supposed to be going to do to go serve other people. Your brain is not going to believe this yet, but you're going to start to reinforce it with repetition. And over time, you're going to step into that true version of you and step into that vision that's going to go impact the world. So, we're going to say this out loud together. Your brain's not going to believe it. Your limiting beliefs are going to be like, what are you saying? This is not true. But just like I practiced that 21-day limiting belief model on myself, right? We're going to practice that right now together. So I want everyone to say this out loud, but you're not going to say it in that lion cub, that lioness cub self, right? We're going to look in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm the lion right now. And even if right now we're like, no, she doesn't know me. I'm actually going through something. We all are. And we're going to continue to be going through that thing until we can step out and get honest and be like,